over, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial sword. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Greeting Mid-Coast Ukers, Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new song tutorial. We have our big jam coming up next weekend, looking forward to that. And one of the songs that we'll definitely be playing is I'll Fly Away. That's been a fun one for the group, feels good to play it, and audiences have really liked it when we've played it for them. It's kind of a rousing spiritual tune, so let's get into it. We're doing it in the key of G. Obviously I don't sing all that well in G, but hopefully you do, and you'll cover up my voice so we won't have to hear me struggling for those notes. But regardless of that fact, the chords being G, G7, C, and D7. Super easy chords. Of course, there's more than one way to do D7. Some of you do 2, 2, 2, 3, which is perfectly okay. I go for the easier 2, 0, 2, 0. It's a very smooth transition into G2, so it's easy, but it also sounds good. But the other one is really nice. It's kind of tangy. Your choice. It doesn't matter. They all mix and match well. As you've probably found out by now, different strums mix and match well together. Different chord voicings mix and match well together. Even sometimes playing different chords. Certain chords that you might substitute and play a different chord than what it says on the sheet will mix with what everyone else is doing. I mean, to a point. So if you want to experiment, feel free. So let's get into the strum. Obviously I was singing and playing at the same time, and so I'm usually going to play differently when I'm singing. I tend to simplify. I do tend to make the strum a little bit cleaner and simpler and a little more rhythmic and not as involved, so that I can concentrate on the words in the singing, and also so I don't interfere with the singing, so I don't cover it up too much and distract. And so that's kind of important, to find one good strum that really works for you and then base everything else off of that. Maybe you every once in a while throw in a variation. I probably did. I just did that spontaneously. I didn't rehearse it, but it was all based on one particular strum, and that strum was, and even within that there's some variation. But here's what I'm doing. I'm hitting the G string of my ukulele, which happens to be a low G, but it does not matter. A high G will function very similarly. So you hit that G string. I do it with my index on a down. It's okay if you catch a little bit of the C string in there like I just did. That's perfectly okay. No big deal. It's not an exact science, as I've said, and it's just an overall effect, an overall rhythm, a feel. So you hit that string, and then you go and on a down strum hit the whole rest of the chord, or even the whole chord. Again, it doesn't matter. Both ways will sound good. There's the rest of the chord, and then here's the whole chord. They both sound okay. So what this does for you when you hit some of a chord and then hit other parts of the chord is it creates some variation. It creates an alternating between one sound and another sound that automatically makes your playing sound a little bit more layered and sophisticated. So instead of just strum, 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 if you did top strings, bottom strings, top strings, bottom strings, that's already very rhythmic, very conducive to spiritual music like this, folk music, any kind of music that needs not a fancy rhythm, but a strong rhythm. So that's going to work for a lot of people, is just simply separating your strings and hitting the top one or ones and then the bottom ones. So let's try that on one verse of I'll Fly Away. Let's do it on the first verse that I sang, verse 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Some bright morning when this life is over, I'll fly away. Now I'll put my voice up to that home on God's celestial shore. Couldn't decide whether to do the low Johnny Cash octave, some bright, or the high, some bright, but we'll see which one works for me. I probably, no octave is safe in my hands. But that gives you an idea of how simple an accompaniment that is, but how effective it is. One variation of that is you could hit those top strings twice. You could do them on a down up, and then hit the chord part on just a down like this. Or you can mix it up. You can do the top strings once and then twice. Boom, chick, boom, ba, chick, boom, chick, boom, ba, chick, boom, chick, boom, ba, chick, boom, chick. That's kind of catchy. And then what I actually was doing when I did the intro to this and was singing, I do believe I did down on the closer strings and then down up on the further strings like this. Boom chicka boom, which is very useful for spiritual / folk music like this, country music, bluegrass, you name it. It's just a great useful strum, one of the most useful strums of all, even including the calypso. It's super important that you know how to do this. So what I did was down on the top string or strings closest to you is what I mean by top, and then the bottom strings, the ones furthest away from you, do a down up. So like this. Down, down, up, down, down, up. Now even if you're not up for separating the strings out like that, if you feel, oh, I'm more of a beginner and I have a tough enough time as it is just aiming for the strings of the ukulele and not missing, then you can hit all four. That's okay to go down, down, up, down. That's perfectly acceptable. I'll do that at the regular pace, and maybe you can do it along with me to see how that feels. 1, 2, 1, 2. Some bright morning when this life is over. See, that works. That's not bad at all. No one would know that we were doing that or we were doing the alternative. It's really just a feel thing, and it just adds to the overall group sound. And most ukulele groups have a mixture of different ability levels. Some people are very confident players, some people are average players, and some people are beginners just getting started. And so to mix those different skill levels together means you're going to have different complexities of strum. And for those that are, you know, more experienced players or more confident musicians, they're going to want to do some of the more interesting strums so they don't get bored. And then those that are more beginners and have just started playing the instrument aren't going to probably want to get too complicated at first. They're going to want to keep things simple. So it's really good to know the basic strum and everything that is the root of it, and then take it from there. And then when you get more confident, you can just improvise like I do. I wing everything. I'm a very improvisational person, as you probably know. I do plan some things in advance, but a lot of times when I play, I just wing it. Like I did in the intro there. That was something I had worked out just before I turned the camera on. I might not even be able to recreate it right now. Never comes out the same way twice because I hadn't actually planned it yet and I hadn't ever rehearsed it. But you'll get there. When you keep practicing and working at your instrument, you'll get so confident that you can just pick it up and feel good about winging something and doing something spontaneous like that. All right, so the song kind of is that. We talked about the whole song, except that, you know, the words change for the second verse being just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joys will never end. I'll fly away. But the music is about the same for that verse. We do have that a cappella verse that we do with clapping. I'll talk about that in a second. And there's instrumentals. Well, the instrumentals are just verses and choruses. So, let's see. They're verses, excuse me, and then we follow them up with choruses. And we'll see when we actually get together next week to jam, we may cut out an instrumental or two. It may not be necessary. We might not have a lot of instrumentalists there. And we also might just want to shorten it so we can get in more songs rather than do longer versions of songs. We'll see. Let's stay a little bit spontaneous about that. It is a jam after all. It's not a show or a rehearsal. So let's talk about the a cappella clapping part. And this is kind of funny in some ways, but just a little bit of history behind it. When you think about European-derived music, stuff like, say, Mozart, boom, 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 boom. The emphasis is on beats 1 and 3, not 2 and 4. It's on 1 and 3. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's on 1 and 3. If you think about, I don't know, early American music like John Philip Sousa, early 20th century stuff, you have da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Boom. So that is also on 1 and 3. March music. It does not have the emphasis on 2 and 4 like blues-derived music. And it's interesting to think of I'll Fly Away as blues-derived music. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. A lot of church music, a lot of not Methodist hymns so much, but music from the Baptist church, especially the Southern Baptist churches, does have a lot of blues in it, you know. It's really a cultural thing. It's not really a racial thing. It doesn't have to do with black or white or brown. It has more to do with just culture and music history. And so they really emphasize the 2 and the 4 in that music. You can think of Down by the Riverside. You can think of this song, I'll Fly Away. Lots of kind of spiritual tunes from the American South have that 2 and 4 thing, and that's why when you go to a Baptist church down south, we're clapping our hands on 2 and 4. I'll fly away, oh glory, not I'll fly away. Now I know some of you have a little bit of trouble with that. That's okay. Almost everybody has trouble with that at first. Most of us are from up here, way up here in New England, or you know, the Northeast in general. We didn't grow up with the Baptist church, but those that did kind of ease into that. You know, it's a little more easy because they heard it as kids. You know, they've heard it all their lives, hitting on the 2 and the 4. Notice how blues-derived music, like rock and roll, like blues itself, gospel, Southern gospel, even when you think about it, country music. We think of country music as not necessarily being blues-derived. We think of country music as being from Appalachia and the hills of West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, etc. But actually, there's a lot of blues in country music. Country music is kind of a mix of hillbilly music, Scots-Irish derived music in the new land in America, mixed with blues from Africa. And so you mix those two together, and that's where country music actually comes from. And then eventually rockabilly, Elvis, rock and roll, Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis, etc., Little Richard, on and on. So not to lecture here too much about music history and American music, but we have to learn how to clap on the 2 and 4. So let's do it. Our beats are 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Here's what we're not doing. Clap, 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 clap. That's what we're not doing. That's Mozart. That's John Philip Sousa. That's not it. What we're doing is clap, 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 clap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Let's do it faster. 2, 3, 4, I'll fly away, oh glory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll fly away. Boom, boom, So you'll get it. It's just a matter of feel, and feels are acquired. You aren't always necessarily born with a feel. These rhythmic feels can be assimilated, and you just soak it in. If you listen to enough gospel choirs from the South, you will eventually soak this up. Or if you listen to lots of Chicago blues like Muddy Waters and Buddy Guy and all that stuff, you're going to soak it up. If you listen to 50s rock and roll, Elvis Presley and Bill Haley and the Comets and all of that, you're going to soak it up. So that's all you have to do is soak it up, and you too will be able to clap on 2 and 4. All right, so let's end this by jamming together on the first verse and chorus of I'll Fly Away. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some bright morning when this life is over, I'll fly away. Home on God's celestial shore, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. And there you have it, Mid-Coast Ukers, I'll Fly Away. Let's have a lot of fun this coming weekend, and I really look forward to seeing you all, or as many of you as we can get to come. And you take care. Bye-bye.